What's up, my Central Unit Galaxy? It's Central Man here, so back again with another classic WWE pay-per-view review. So this time, I'm going to review the first Fastlane pay-per-view of 2015 at the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee on the 22nd of February 2015. The attendance for the show was 13,263. The buy rate for this show was 46,000 pay-per-view buys. Before I make this review, I looked up on the Wikipedia for the buy rate of the show. I said to myself, wow, that is piss poor. This is the worst buy rate than the 2006 ECW's December to Dismember. 46,000 pay-per-view buys. I know we're in the post-buy rate era of the WWE. I bet they still do buy rates to this day. The previous year's pay-per-view was the Elimination Chamber. That show received 183,000 pay-per-view buys because it was the final pay-per-view before the launch of the WWE Network. The main event of that show was the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Months before the show, there's speculation that WWE is going to replace the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in February, because the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view is always the established February pay-per-view. Yeah, before that was No Way Out, and then at one time they did like St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1999, but 2010 to 2013. The Elimination Chamber pay-per-view is always the established February pay-per-view for the WWE. When I hear that news that WWE is going to replace the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view for Fastlane, I was pissed. I think a lot of fans were pissed because I like the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I like the Elimination Chamber matches. It's one of the best matches, not just in WWE's history, but in pro wrestling history. When they decided to get rid of it, it was really disappointed, because Fastlane, they never turned out to be great. It's not like, it's just a meaningless name for a pay-per-view. Fastlane, worse names, like years later they did like Great Balls of Fire. That is a more of a meaningless name. It's just like Fastlane, the fast road to WrestleMania. What the fuck? They did like 5 Fastlane pay-per-views between 2015 until 2019. Did one, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. They didn't do one last year in 2020. They got replaced by Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. Glad, those Saudi Arabia shows, they're worse than Fastlane shows. And now they brought it back for this year, for 2021. I wish they'd just get rid of it completely, because I like they didn't really do Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in 2016. I was a bit pissed off when they did, got rid of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view for February. Instead of like get rid of it completely, they kind of moved the show until May of that year. That was like, they didn't do well in May because, I don't know, because I like it because it's playing more seeds for WrestleMania. When they did it in May, it was just like meh. It was a lot of crappy chamber matches. I don't want to talk about it. If I review Elimination Chamber 2015, I will probably do it in the near future. But yeah, they didn't do well. They did one in 2016. They brought it back in 2017, part of the brand split, the set 2.0. It was part of the SmackDown brand. And they've been doing it ever since. They're always the February show. I like that. But Fastlane, it's just like, what's it mean? It doesn't mean anything. They never produce like good shows or decent shows. They only produce like just mediocre, meaningless shows. It's just what it is, So this is the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania 31. The commentators for the show are Michael Cole, the Hometown Boy, Jerry the King Lawler, and JBL. The first match of the show, we got a 6-man tag team match. We got Dolph Ziggler, Ryback, and Eric Rowan taking on 3 members of the Authority. Represent the Authority, we got, at the time, Mr. Money in the Bank holder Seth Rollins, Big Show, and Corporate Kane with J&J Security in their corner. JJ Security are Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury. Mediocre, no build to this. This is the problem about these matches on this show. There is no build instead of the final two matches on the show. We'll get to those matches later on in this review. In late 2014 and early 2015, the Authority fired Ziggler, Ryback, Rowan, and John Cena won a match on Raw to win back their jobs. Then on the go-home show to SmackDown, Rollins, Big Show, Kane beat down Ryback, Ziggler, and Rowan. I don't know, it's just basically building some heat going into their match on the show. It's just what it is. The match was okay. It's just a standard 6-man tag team match. It wasn't terrible, but at the same time, wasn't a fantastic match. No, it's just a standard match. It was basically a thumbs up the middle match. Nothing fancy, but wasn't terrible. The bulks of the match, you had basically Rollins, Big Show, Kane worked on the leg of Eric Rowan because one time in the match he was going for like a roundhouse kick. He kind of kicked his leg into the ring post. That is the reason. Rowan was the weak link in this match. He is not that good. He had a poor reaction of his entrance. You know, his theme music is very bad. Don't worry, he'll be part of the Wyatt family. Basically, months after us, in the summer of 2015, the Wyatts reformed. Bray, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and then introducing Braun Strowman. Another story for another time. In the end, Ziggler did like the punches in the corner onto Kane, and all of a sudden Big Show knocked out Ziggler with the punch. Kane chokes on Ziggler and won this match for the Authority. Ziggler picking the L, that was bad. I'd rather have Rowan pick up the L instead of Ziggler because, like I said, Rowan is a weak link. He's not that good in the ring. He was just big. Ryback, not so much. He was okay, but that's not saying too much. But Ziggler, no. Because at the time, Ziggler was still over. Compare right now, he's just basically Shawn Michaels 2.0. Afterwards, the Authority beaten down Ryback, Ziggler, and Rowan, and all of a sudden, Randy Orton came out of nowhere. He wants retribution for the Authority because they took him out of action in October. I think it was the Raw after Hell in a Cell. They just basically beaten down Randy Orton. I think Rollins curb stomped Orton, his face into, I think it was a block of cement. No, I think it was Ambrose. Basically, they beaten down, the Raw after Hell in a Cell in October. He missed about, I think it was October, November, December, January. So about 4 or 5 months. He came back on the show. He was going after Rollins. Big Show pulled him out. Rollins run out of the arena. This set up Orton and Rollins at WrestleMania. He hit Kane with the RKO, and that was it. Yeah, Orton was, got a bit of a pop. He didn't do much in 2015. He's feuding with Rollins. He was feuding a mini feud with Sheamus. Then I think he was about to feud with the Wyatt family. Unfortunately, he got injured. The feud with the Wyatts in 2016 in the second brand split. Another story for another time. Yeah, it was an okay match. So moving on to the next match. The next match we got Goldust versus Stardust. Oh boy. This was Cody Rhodes' very most pulverizing gimmick. I think Cody Rhodes is just basically a guinea pig for the WWE throughout this years. After Legacy broke up, they basically experiment with Cody with gimmicks and not really getting over. I'll explain more after this match. So they were a tag team. They've been a tag team since 2013. Won the tag team titles not once but twice. And also, after Rhodes brothers dropped the tag team titles to the New Age Outlaws, Cody says, "Go and find another tag team." Goldust didn't do much in 2014 until Cody came back as Stardust. He was basically copying his brother's gimmick, and you could tell they changed up his gimmick a bit. Instead of wearing the Goldust suit, he's wearing tights for the first time in his career because before that he was wearing trunks. Anyway, like I think it was late 2014, early 2015. They kind of like having their differences between Cody Rhodes and I call him Stardust and Goldust, and then I think it was on the Go Home show to Raw or SmackDown. Stardust turned on Goldust. That set up this match on the show. The match was mediocre. This was a mediocre match. The match was okay, but no one gives a fuck. No build to this. This is the problem about these matches on the show. No build. Instead of the final two matches, they got stakes. One's for a championship, one face the world champion at WrestleMania. This was just, was it? They're not fighting for a title. It's just basically just Battle of the Roads. What's the fuck? What the fuck? It's just a filler match. The fans throughout this whole match, they were chanting Cody, Cody, because this was a pulverizing gimmick for Cody Rhodes. Just mimicking his brother's gimmick. In the end, Goldust was teasing he's gonna hit Cody with the Shattered Dreams wherever he stopped him. In the end, Cody was going for Crossroads, but Goldust countered with a roll-up, and the referee fucking botched the 3 count, and Goldust won this match. And then afterwards, there was a backstage segment between Goldust and his father, Dusty Rhodes. Afterwards, Stardust beat down Goldust. He said to his dad, Dusty, says, "You killed Cody," and he said, "Stay out of my shadow." And I think he said, "I broke away from your shadow," and that was it. When I see Dusty Rhodes on this show, it reminds me of a lot of people that, shit, a few months later, we're not going to see Dusty Rhodes anymore, because in June he passed away due to kidney failure. They should have ditched the not Goldust gimmick, but they should have ditched the Stardust gimmick after the passing of Dusty Rhodes. Unfortunately, he remains Stardust until the end of his run, because he got released in 2016. I think the reason why Cody just do not like the WWE, because they put Cody Rhodes in these. He's basically the guinea pig, an experimental guinea pig for the WWE. I'm talking about Cody Rhodes. After Legacy broke up in 2010, they put Cody in these crappy gimmicks and not really getting over. First he was dashy Cody Rhodes, he teamed up with Drew McIntyre. Then he was undashing Cody Rhodes with the mask. Then he had a mustache, teaming up with Damien Sandow, and then teaming up with his brother Goldust. Then he's Stardust, and then he left the company. I think they were going for a rivalry, but they kind of changed plans at the last minute. I think he had one more match. I don't know, probably on a Raw or SmackDown. They won't fight again until 2019. They fought at the first AEW pay-per-view, that is Double or Nothing. And they never fought ever since. They're the babyfaces at this moment in AEW. So moving on to the next match. The next match, this is a breath of fresh air, man. Breath of fresh air. We got the WWE Tag Team Championship match. We got the Usos with Naomi in their corner, taking on Tyson Kidd and Cesaro with Natalya in their corner. No build to this. Basically, there was a segment on SmackDown, a confrontation between Jimmy Uso, Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, Naomi, Natalya. It was just like Matt at the time. I was not a big fan of them. I was kind of like not really growing into me, that tag team between Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. That's just me, because at this point I'm sick of Cesaro in a tag team picture, because he's been in the tag team picture for about 2 years now, because he's part of the tag team picture of the Real Americans. He, sicking as a heel now. He should have turned babyface. Basically, the night after WrestleMania, broke away from the Real Americans. But instead, he's teamed up with Paul Heyman, King of Swings, and that never got him over. Now he's teaming up with Tyson Kidd. Same as Cody, Cesaro is also another guinea pig. Giving these crappy gimmicks, they're not really getting over. I'm not going to explain. It'll be too long for this video, this review. Anyway, this match was a decent match. It was a fun match, back and forth. The early stages of the match, you basically had Tyson Kidd and Cesaro worked on the leg of Jimmy Uso. It was fun, but yeah, it was really good. I think one more of the match, Tyson Kidd locked in the sharpshooter onto, I think it was one members of the Usos. I think it was Jimmy or Jay. And then also the other Uso twin kind of kicked Tyson Kidd in the back of the head with a super kick. That was sick. In the end, Tyson Kidd hit like a fisherman net breaker to win this match, and yeah, Cesaro and Kidd are the new tag team champions. Um, I never knew. Yeah, they hold the titles until the early. I think it was April of 2015. They dropped the titles to the New Day. I think they did like a double turn. Yeah, the New Day are heels. Kidd and Cesaro as babyface. And yeah, I was not really a big fan of Tyson Kidd and Cesaro as a tag team. I think they were calling like the Canadian Swiss connection because Tyson Kidd's from Canada, Cesaro's from Switzerland. Unfortunately, yeah, the tag team never last long because, Tyson Kidd got injured. He got injured in the hands of Samoa Joe in NXT. He never wrestled ever again. Never story another time. Cesaro still wrestled to this day. He was a single star, and then he was a tag team wrestler with, Sheamus to form the Bar, and then teaming up with Nakamura. And let's move on to the next match. Yeah, it was a decent match. It was a fun match. So moving on to the next match. We got Nikki Bella defended the Divas title against Paige with her sister Brie in Nikki's corner. Now build to this mediocre as fuck. This is the problem because at this time, Paige and Nikki Bella and even Brie Bella are in, the TV show Total Divas. Because one scene on Total Divas, because there's one episode, they're in England, basically had Paige singing Brie's theme music. You go, Brie Mo's full of shit. I know they bleeped out the word bleep the swearing, but kind of funny. Yeah, this is the problem with Total Divas. They kind of expose the business because when they're facing each other in the ring, everyone knows they're not friends. Everyone knows they're friends in real life, but it's just not really. It's just like takeaways like the believability because one moment they're fighting in the ring and the next thing they're really hanging around in bars and restaurants. Yeah, I was not buying into it. So, Nikki Bella, this is her third month or fourth month as Divas champion. She'll hold the belt until September. I'm not a big fan of. I don't hate Nikki Bella the person. I don't like Nikki Bella the character. She ain't that good in the ring. The only reason why she's got that title, she's in that spot because of John Cena. At the same time, I think the bloom cannot fall off the rose of Paige. I don't want to get into that much. This match was okay. It's way better than the match at Money in the Bank later on in the year. When Paige won the title, but instead it was reversed due to Twin Magic because it didn't work anymore because Nikki's one with the big tits, with the light, blonde highlights in her hair. Breeze with the small tits with brown hair, brunette hair. I don't have a problem with the Bellas. They're okay as ring personality, but in the ring, I don't like them. So, Nikki hit like the Alabama Slam, the power bomb off the top rope onto Paige. Paige was going for the PTO. I think Nikki reached the ropes. In the end, Nikki hit, I think it was a roll up onto Paige to win this match and retain the Divas Championship. And this is set up a tag team match at WrestleMania. The Bellas taking on Paige and AJ Lee, and this was AJ Lee's final, I say second to last match before leaving the company. She hasn't came back ever since. I think she's retired at this moment. So the next match, we got Bad News Barrett defend the Intercontinental Championship against Dean Ambrose. Ambrose won a IC title match against Barrett. Barrett basically declined it. Then on Raw, he basically timed up Wade Barrett's arms near the ring post with, I think it was plastic, and wrote down his signature on the contract to get a shot at the IC title. That's short for Intercontinental Championship for short. On the show, the match was shit. I'm sorry. At this point, I'm not a big fan of the Bad News Barrett gimmick. I'm sorry, not a big fan of BMB. I found that gimmick so cheesy, over the top, and corny and lame. I like him as Wade Barrett, but Bad News Barrett, it didn't suit me. Nothing much about this match. The match ended in disqualification because because Ambrose hits multiple stumps, kicking Barrett near in the corner. Didn't answer the referee's count of 5 because if you do that, that leads you to the automatic disqualification. Because Ambrose was frustrated, and afterwards he hits Barrett with the dirty deeds. At this moment, because Ambrose is no longer with WWE, he is now in AEW in the world title picture with Kenny Omega. Wade Barrett's now back in WWE in the NXT brand. Another story, another time. So this will set up a multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania. This show is setting up matches at WrestleMania. And also there was two segments on the show. A segment between Triple H and Sting, so their match at WrestleMania, and Bray Wyatt called out The Undertaker. That's their match at WrestleMania. I'm not going to review WrestleMania 31 this year. I don't know, it's too long. That's the problem with these WrestleManias in recent years. They're always fucking long. About 4, 5, even 6 hours long. Don't want to talk about modern day WrestleManias. Instead, I reviewed WrestleMania, 36 Part 1, Part 2, but that was our current timeline. But I'm not doing sometimes I don't want to do the 4 WrestleMania shows, from recent years. They're too fucking long. They're about fucking 4, 5, 6 hours long. It's like it'll take me 2 days to review these shows. Anyway, so back to the show. Then we got Rusev defended the United States Championship against John Cena. I remember this. Basically, the build up to this. Basically, there was a backstage interview segment. This was at the previous month's pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble. Cena and Rusev got into a backstage argument. It was led to a brawl because Rusev was speaking in Bulgarian at the time. He was a hero to the Russian people. And then weeks you had Rusev beating down John Cena. This was not. It was an okay match. It was a decent match. They didn't have great chemistry between Cena and Rusev. They had matches in 2015. They had the flag match in 2017. I'll explain more after this match. It was decent. The fans were chanting, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." They didn't sing "John Cena sucks, John Cena sucks." That's because back at this in that time period they were doing singing song John Cena sucks song. That's funny. Cena's just playing up to the crowd. It's just what he is. Fuckboy Buckethead. I don't like John Cena as the person. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a good wrestler. I'm not saying he's a great wrestler. I don't think he's a bad wrestler. Granted, he's not like he doesn't have like the moveset like a Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart or a Randy Savage or Owen Hart. I find Cena's okay in the ring. Anyway, the match was okay. Rusev kicked out of the AA. Cena tried to make Rusev tap out with the FTF. I think Rusev reached the ropes. In the end, Lana at the time was the ravishing Russian. Distract the referee. Rusev kicked Cena in the balls and then he locked him the accolade. Cena passed out and Rusev retained his title. It was a big victory for Rusev. In that the next few months he got buried by John Cena because that next month at WrestleMania, Cena wins the United States title. And then they fought at a Russian chain match at Extreme Rules. And the blow-off of the rivalry was the I Quit match at Payback. And then they won't fight again until 2017 in the flag match. Because in this build-up to this, and the core conclusion is, I call Cena's winning. I call Cena's going to win the title. I knew Cena's going to win. And they did. Buried Rusev. That was the biggest win for Rusev. And afterwards he got buried by John Cena. Same as Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens won against John Cena. I think it was at Elimination Chamber. And then Cena went on to win the final 2 matches of their feud later on in the year. And this is the point of time. I'm sick of Cena's burial. It was getting old. I'm getting sick of it. Right now he's doing movies. Let's move on to the main event. The main event, we got Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns, winner face Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 31. The build up to this, you had Reigns winning the Rumble match the previous month. The Rumble match in 2015 was the most pulverizing Rumble match ever because Roman was in the wrong place, wrong time. Bryan was in the Rumble match, he got eliminated by Bray Wyatt. So basically, Bryan got pissed off. You know, he challenged Roman to a match, win a face Brock for the championship. At this point, this is the start of Roman's push. You know, it's very funny right now. Back then they were not really booing Roman a lot because the next few years they were booing Roman a lot. They were chanting like Roman sucks, Roman sucks, and let's go Roman sucks chants, or you can't wrestle. You know, I don't want to get in a lot. It's very funny right now. I think they are facing each other at this year's Fastlane pay-per-view. This is for the Universal title, winner face Edge at WrestleMania 37. It's very funny right now. Roman's in his career renaissance because he's doing the whole tribal chief thing as a heel. It's very funny, like back then, you know, he's not getting over as a babyface. Right now, he's an a heel. You know, this is night all day. Anyway, the match was good. Match of the night. Every time Bryan does like high flying moves or any type of maneuver he's trying to do, Roman counted. Like I think he was going for like a Hurricanrana. Reigns countered with I think it was a powerbomb off the top rope. He kicked out the knee to the face. I think Bryan kicked out the spear. In the end, yeah, Reigns hit Bryan with the spear to win this match. Yeah, it was back and forth. And there was signs says if Bryan lose, we riot. Unfortunately, this is Memphis. If it was like Philadelphia or even Chicago, there'll probably be, you know, 50%, 50 to 30% fans would get behind Bryan more than Roman Reigns. They were chanting, "Let's go, Bryan, Roman Reigns." You know, at this point, Roman was still 50-50, and in the next few years he'll be hated. Yeah, like the guy's been shoved down our throats. You know, right now he's, you know, over as a heel, doing the tribal chief thing. You know, it's really funny that this is Bryan's second to last match before he retired the following year. For 2 years, he came back. There was rumors back then, you know, Vince changing his plans for who's gonna face Brock for the championship. You know, one time, Vince wants Bryan to face Brock at WrestleMania, and next thing he doesn't. You know, unfortunately, Bryan will be in the IC title picture in the multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania 31. Roman faced Brock for the championship at WrestleMania 31, and that turns to a triple threat when Rollins cash in the briefcase and win the championship on that show. Yeah, we get Roman versus Brock, a single one-on-one match at WrestleMania 3 years later at WrestleMania 34, and also Bryan will face Brock at Survivor Series in 2018. Yeah, you know, and Bryan had his redemption storyline in 2018 when he won the title from AJ Styles in late 2018. So it's weird. You know, I think they're doing a redemption story right now with Daniel Bryan if he's defeating Roman for the championship in this year's Fastlane event. Who knows? So fingers crossed. When I do my predictions for Fastlane 2021. So anyway, so my final rating for WWE Fastlane 2015, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was a terrible show, but this was an okay show. Just a lot of filler. The 3 matches, they were okay. It doesn't make me go, wow, I need to go back and watch this. You know, that is the tag team title match between the Usos and Kid and Cesaro, Rusev versus Cena for the United States title, and the main event between Bryan versus Roman. Besides that, the only thing in the okay has to be the opener and the Devious title match. Most of the matches were filler, like Goldust versus Stardust, the IC title match between Bad News Barrett and Dean Ambrose. It's just like, this is a skip pay-per-view. If you got this on the network, just skip it for all time. So yeah, it was just a mediocre show. Yeah, Fastlane never turned out to be great. So anyway, hope you enjoyed my review of WWE Fastlane 2015. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, smash the like button, and subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube for more wrestling videos, Marvel videos, game streams, and more. Next time in the WWE Classic segments, you know, classic WWE pay-per-view review segments, it's WrestleMania time, baby. So I'm going to review, throughout March and going into April, I'm going to review classic WrestleMania pay-per-views. So next time, I'm going to review the first WrestleMania from 1985. This is the Central Man officially signing out. That's my review of Fastlane 2015. It was filler. I don't say it was a bad show, but at the same time, it wasn't a great show. This was basically a thumbs of a middle show.